Number 18 and 8-3 Notre Dame at 3-8 Stanford today in Palo Alto. 7 p.m. South Bend time kickoff tonight. And it's on the Pac-12 network. So do your homework, figure out what you got to do to get that channel. It's on a lot of cable providers have the Big 12 network. It's on my cable network, fortunately. If not, you can stream it. If you don't know how to stream stuff, ask your kids. they'll get that dialed in for you. But there's a way to get the game tonight. Just make sure you're not scrambling at the last second. And these are my final thoughts before kickoff. By the way, I'm Phil Haug for Fighting Irish Preview and fightingirishpreview.com. My first thought just a few hours before kickoff is remember 16 and 14. I should say 16 to 14. Last year at home, Notre Dame was a 17-point favorite, and I hate to dredge up these bad memories. And they lost 16 to 14. That's a painful memory. I have a feeling that 16 to 14 score was prominently mentioned around Notre Dame practices this week and probably in the Goog football offices. So I don't expect Notre Dame to come out flat in this game. There's a little bit of a revenge factor, and expect them to recall 16 to 14 and to play hard today. Number two thing I'm thinking about is gadget plays. Stanford's head coach Troy Taylor, in his first season, he came over from Sacramento State, FCS Sacramento State. Troy Taylor has a reputation as an offensive guru of sorts. His teams at Sacramento State last year averaged 42 points per game, so he's a bright offensive mind. Also, Stanford's been playing two quarterbacks on the field at the same time. That's a little unusual. Their top rusher is their quarterback, and their second leading rusher is the other quarterback. So go figure. Obviously, that's unusual. Troy Taylor doing some things to try and get there's definitely some innovation going on there. So last game of the season for Stanford, without a doubt. There's no reason to hold anything back today. So Notre Dame, Al Golden, Notre Dame defense, keep your eyes open. Gadgets, flea flickers, tricks, call them whatever you want. But Stanford may be in that mood today to pull out all the stops. So beware of the gadget. My final thought is about the last time Notre Dame played at Stanford 2 years ago, 2021. Notre Dame behind big games from Jack Cohn. And I think Cohn was 350 yards passing that day. Kyron Williams, two great names from the Notre Dame's recent past, also had a big game. Notre Dame romped that day 45 to 14. And the things there's two things about that game that stick out. One was the lack of support from the fans that Stanford had that day. Half full, sitting up in the press box, I was amazed to see a half full stadium at a Power 5 major, two Power 5 teams playing each other, including Notre Dame. This never happens in stadiums where Notre Dame's at, but that stadium was about half full that day, and the Stanford fans just didn't show up. Now, what'll happen today, who knows? But I have a feeling they're not going to show up in great numbers anyway. And actually, 2 years ago, I thought that there was probably almost, it seemed, as many Notre Dame fans at the game as Stanford fans, believe it or not, all the way out on the West Coast. That's one thing. And that'll benefit Notre Dame today. It won't be a hostile environment. The other thing about that game was it was Brian Kelly's last game as the Notre Dame head coach. And there were a couple of things that was interesting about that day, things that were signs that maybe this was about to happen, but nobody really picked up on it. One was that Kelly, post-game, I recall how, obviously he's happy they won, but I'd never seen Brian Kelly do anything like this. But as he's walking off the field, he kind of got the attention of the crowd. They were all yelling nice things down towards the players on the field. And Brian Kelly did one of these. I'd never seen him do anything like that. He just he was unusually happy. He came into the post-game press conference unusually happy, just a big smile on his face. He bounded into the room, kind of almost ran up to the podium. Uh, Point of interest, at least to me personally, I asked him the next to last question of his Notre Dame career. For what that's worth, something about comparing the 2021 team to some other teams that he had coached. Yeah, just he was acting a little unusual that day, but nobody really had a clue about what was going to happen just 2 days later. Uh, so anyway, and it did certainly happen. Uh, Boy, was I wrong too. I mean, just no clue that he was going to leave. The Irish are first of all, the weather today. It's expected to be perfect weather out in Southern California, sunny, 60 degrees. Not bad. Not bad for Thanksgiving weekend. The Irish are 24.5-point favorites today. Big advantage for the Irish on both sides of the football. Line of scrimmage. Notre Dame is a lot better football team defensively and offensively than the Stanford team. Motivation should not be an issue. I think Notre Dame will come to play well. They've got a lot riding on this game. And Stanford really has nothing to motivate them other than pride. Nothing wrong with that. That can go a long way. And I expect a decent effort out of them with their new coach. I think he's building a good culture there. So expect a good game out of Sam Hartman, though, today. I think he found something with his wide receivers last week. Good games there for all of his young wide receiving core. And that'll pay dividends tonight. The Fighting Irish, Notre Dame, as I said, a 24.5-point favorite. The Fighting Irish preview and fightingirishpreview.com pick Notre Dame 41, Stanford 10. And for Fighting Irish Preview and fightingirishpreview.com, I'm Phil Houck. Check out fightingirishpreview.com. Do me a favor. I'd really appreciate you checking it out. It's all free. Everything is free on the website. When you sign in, you'll get a chance to subscribe. Give us your email address. We don't use it for anything other than to send you updates of new articles and good Fighting Irish information that we're constantly updating as best we can. And consider buying us a cup of coffee. You have that opportunity. Look for the buttons. They're on every page throughout the site that allows you to support fightingirishpreview.com. Let's keep it free. And thank you for considering doing that. And I will talk to you after the game.